I was 25 years old when I started Post City magazines. I was just a kid, pretty well. I mean, you guys are kids, but I was a kid to be starting something. And before that, I was selling and leasing commercial real estate to all kinds of different clients, banks, insurance companies, and whatnot. And just before I started Post, a very monumental event took place. A lot of my friends strangely played competitive Monopoly, like Parker Brothers Monopoly, and they invited me down to the Ontario Monopoly Championship. Anyway, I played Monopoly a little, but I wasn't like in love with the game. Anyway, I came down. I remember coming down. I was wearing my suit and my tie and everything. I had been working and showing some commercial space, and sat down. And there were about 500 people showed up to play in this tournament, and I literally stayed there. It's been 7 hours it took me to beat every single person in the room pretty well, and I went on. I was the Ontario Monopoly champion, and I went on to the Canadian Championship.
He showed up at my house one day in May 1989, and my son Spencer was about 10 months old, and asked me to do the masthead for the Bayview Post, which was going to be a community newspaper that was delivered throughout the Bayview area. He wanted it to look like the Globe and Mail, so we found some letters and we put together the first Bayview Post.
So when we started the publications, which was the Bayview Post, was the first one. We started it with $500, which wasn't a great deal of money, but wasn't nothing at the same time. And on our first edition, we actually made $1,000. So we made back all of our money and $1,000, which we of course subsequently reinvested into the publication as we went forward. I remember the $500 though was business cards and stationery, and this, we didn't have any office space, so it was almost like developing a web company. All the web developers don't have any offices.
Yeah.
But we didn't have any offices. Offices was an unnecessary economic luxury, I would guess. So we worked from the back of a photocopy shop, picnic tables, car hoods, whatever it was. We of course told everybody we had very nice offices. And that was one of the challenges of starting up, is that we didn't want to put very much money in it. We didn't have to. Another one of the challenges was a lot of people might have made a prototype and taken it around. We decided we'd just hit the ground running, and what we did was we had several different publications from California and from New York, and we took those with us, and we said, this is the kind of thing we want to do for Toronto. It doesn't exist here. And we showed them what was going on in New York and actually LA, and they really dug it. And so it was another challenge, I guess. You could spend all your time and money on a prototype, or you can hit the ground running. I guess we kind of thought, let's do it this way. Let's see what happens. So that's what we did.
We print 180,000 magazines every month. We're now in our 4th location. We have over 30 employees, as well as people who work freelance as well. We have an editorial department, an art department, production department, classified department, and sales department. And my primary job, I'm Vice President of Sales. I probably sell about 35% of all the magazines with the help of an assistant, as well as my sister, who also became a partner after 5 years into our magazines, and she sells about 30%, and plus we have about 8 other salespeople.
So once we were going, and people were really liking what we were doing with taking the traditional community newspaper and literally turning it on its head and making like a city magazine for a neighborhood. There's Toronto Life or there's New York Magazine, or there's Chicago Magazine, but was there a Forest Hill Magazine or a Yorkville Magazine or a Bayview Magazine? And we thought with the introduction of Apple software and without Apple computers, we wouldn't even have a business. That's something I just got to tell you right now. But you've got to remember that this was the beginning, and it made it so easy to do desktop publishing that we were able to push community newspaper way beyond what it was ever or had ever been before, and we've continued to do that to this day. You know, glossy covers, stitched and trimmed publications, very, very high quality stock. All our inks are vegetable based, which is really important, you know, environmentally and for us, because we want to do good. We're good neighbors, and so, you know, having a certain amount of recycled content in the paper and having that vegetable based stock is super important. The internet has come along, and we've embraced it because it works very well with us.
Hi, I'm Mark McEwen at McEwen Food Store. So I'm about to pick the city's best sausage.
We were free, because our publications are free distribution, before the internet. So we could compete with the internet very easily. We knew free before they did. So I think we just keep evolving it. Right now we're looking at glossy stock for the whole product. We are looking at different apps that we're going to be coming out for Tony Askler, for Jeannie Becker, who does our fashion. Tony's our wine guy. We're looking at microsites. Like last week we met with someone to acquire 2 of their websites. I mean, it's always evolving. Once it stops evolving, I don't want to do it anymore. I love growing things. I like the idea of just making it more interesting for the reader and more involved with the community, and just more creative. That's what drives me, and I think that's what drives the team that I